So I'm Cynthia, and I'm the host of the reality series, CPS the Horror Stories. I'm not an attorney or a social worker, but I'm a mom who had her children kidnapped by CPS a few years ago. After fighting for a couple of years, I did get my kids back, but that doesn't mean that we still don't go through all of the struggling and suffering from the traumatic events that are caused by CPS. CPS I feel is little about protecting children anymore, but it's about the dollar amount that's above each child's head and selling them for their purposes. So, your name is Savannah, correct?
Correct.
And where are you from?
I'm from Houston, Texas.
Another Texas person. It's crazy out there. I hear some of the worst stories from out there.
Yes.
So tell me, how many children do you have?
It's three. I have three girls.
And what are their ages?
They're 6, 3, and 2.
Oh. And when did they originally get taken?
A year ago, it was October 2019.
Okay. So tell me, did you have CPS in your life as a child?
I did.
You did.
I did.
Can we start there? What happened?
I was sexually abused by my mother's second husband. CPS didn't do much for me as a child at all. I ended up getting a test done and everything like that, and my mother ended up dropping charges on this man, so I wasn't able to get my justice, if you could put it that way. Um, and then I was with my stepmom and my father, and I called CPS multiple times as a child, and nothing ever happened where they even remotely tried to, help my living situation or anything that was going on. So I honestly don't believe that CPS is out there for the right reasons or to help protect children.
So when you were with your mom and stepdad,
Mm-hmm.
they removed you because you were being sexually abused by your stepfather, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that. And they put you with your dad and stepmom.
Correct.
And was there abuse in that home?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the abuse there?
I was sexually abused by my father as well, and emotionally abused by my sisters, and pretty much if you want to say the stepchild that was abused the most.
So like a Cinderella story in a sense.
Correct. Yes.
And you tried reaching out to CPS.
Yes, multiple times.
And nothing.
And nothing. My dad had this weird way of being able to talk out any CPS worker into pretty much saying I'm a liar, which has happened my whole life.
So it sounds like he's a narcissist.
Very, very much so.
Those people amaze me. I know because my mom is one, and so is my ex-husband, and it's amazing how they can. Have you heard of the dog whistle?
No, I have not.
So, do you know what a dog whistle does?
Yeah.
It's quiet, right? We can't hear it, but if you blow it, the dogs will go crazy.
Right.
So what a narcissist does is they get you going, quietly so nobody sees it, and then all of a sudden you're acting crazy, and then they get to point you out and be like, see, she's the crazy one.
Exactly.
And I'm very familiar with those tactics, and you have the hiccups, I apologize. You learn to survive in their world with their games.
Exactly.
Sad, but they can fool anybody and get everybody to believe that they're this amazing, charismatic, happy-go-lucky person.
Exactly.
Wow. I'm really sorry that you, so young, had to figure out how to survive that way.
Yeah.
So did you grow up in that home? Did you have to stay there?
I did. I stayed there until I was 17, and then I got kicked out. So there's that. But I'm very I guess I do not like confrontation. I'm one of those people that will do anything to please the other person, and so I've grown up my life like pretty much just staying where I'm comfortable because that's who I grew up with, and it's very toxic.
Wow. So, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I'm 26.
Okay.
I just turned 26.
And so you stayed in that home until how old did you say that you were when you left?
Until I was 18, 17. And then I ended up going back because my mother was with another man and he was being sexually abusive to me as well. So I had to pick one or the other because there was no way I was going to be able to make it on my own.
So tell me about your girls.
They're 6, 3, and 2. They got taken away originally, in October of 2019. I had this investigator, and she ended up showing up and saying that I was addicted to drugs, that I was in a relationship that I wasn't, with a man that, I mean, they never proved, pretty much proved that was abusive to my kids, which he never was. And then said that I was mentally unstable because I have a depressive disorder and I've had to be treated in a mental facility for it, which I don't believe that should be put against me. So this woman lied on stand saying that, pretty much all of these things. I mean, they've called me a piece of shit in court. I mean, they have, my third baby daddy, he, I don't know how to explain this, but so my first daughter, my oldest one, was sexually abused, and I found out because she was touching herself inappropriately. And I asked her what happened, and she said my sisters were the ones that did it. And so I ended up calling CPS, and I called, the police and everything like that. This was prior to when they were taken away. But down here in Houston, they do not, I guess, like if they feel like they don't have enough evidence that, they won't press charges. So I ended up getting a protective order against this man for life. And pretty much like they are saying that I purposely let my daughter be sexually abused by this man when I did not. I did everything I could to protect her whenever I found these things out because she said it was my sisters. And then later on, it was, she came out and said it wasn't them, that it was him. And, he threatened her for her life. And I didn't know these things. So that's another thing CPS is using against me right now.
How old is she?
She's 6.
Okay, and where was that happening?
They said it, what do you mean? Where was that happening?
That she was being sexually abused.
Well, I was with this man, but I never really left him alone together. And I guess the 1 or 2 times that I did, that's when it happened. I don't know exactly. I just did everything I could to protect her. And once I found anything out like that, like I took them out of the situation, and I got a protective order for life against him. But CPS swears right now that I purposely let her be sexually abused, which is not right. When I was sexually abused as a child, why would I let my own kid be sexually abused?
Right.
So that's another thing I'm dealing with CPS right now. But so they were taken away from me. I went to court and they ended up saying that they opened my case because they said that pretty much I was a piece of shit. I had made bad decisions because of the people I was with, and CPS still tells me to this day, like, if you're in an abusive relationship, you just need to leave. I'm like, this man threatened me. He tried to kill me multiple times, and that's how all my baby daddies were, like all of them, that's how they were to me, and they make it seem like it's so easy to leave when not only has he threatened to kill me and try to kill me, he's threatened me in front of other people that I'm friends with. So, I mean, if he's able to say that in front of people that like he's not scared of anything. I mean, he's not afraid to tell anyone that he's going to kill you or try to at least. But after they took him, they ended up placing him with my stepmom and my father. Well, whenever they took them, they did. And then I found out later that CPS was telling them that I beat the fuck out of them, which my daughter was limping after she left my care. Whenever the CPS comes and picks up your kids, they have the cops with them. Mm-hmm. And there was cameras showing, obviously there's cams on their bodyguard or bodies. And I know that those children did not leave like that. And they were with CPS for a while before my stepmother came and picked them up. But they ended up placing them with my stepmom and my father. And I ended up getting it to the point where they were with my stepdad because that was the only way closer to me, which is hard because I know that he loved them. He was dying of kidney failure. And so whenever this happened, I was in Denton County, which is in Dallas area. So whenever they took them, they did not let me see them for a while. They told me I was piece of shit mom, and then they literally had lice. I mean, like infestation of lice. So they ended up being placed with my stepdad for a while, and he was dying. And then I was gradually able to be with him longer and longer and longer. In July, they ended up giving them back to me. But in this process, my oldest daughter's father got involved with her after not being involved for 6 years. He tried to kill me as well. We have a domestic violence, history, which the police have been called because of that. And so with that, they still allowed him to come around and be in her life after being absent for 6 years. And they pretty much forced him to have a relationship when she cried out to them and said that she didn't want to be around him or anything to do with him, but they still forced her. Because I guess her age, which is I don't think that's right at all, especially with our domestic violence. And he's still lying to government officials saying that he never was involved. Like he didn't know about her, which is a lie because I have photographs of him being in the room with me when I gave birth to her. So he obviously knew about it.
So your oldest is placed with her dad?
All 3 of my kids are placed with him whenever the other 2 is not their father. Yes. Wow. Yeah. So, they placed them with him. So she had one visit, like they just signed the papers because they forced me to sign the papers of her being able to go with him every other weekend, which I did not believe was right because they didn't have a relationship. He wasn't trying to have a relationship. I think, honestly, he's just trying to get back at me because this is something I don't want for her. Because I've had to deal with him, he's not one of those people that like are just straight up abusive. It takes a little bit of time, and that's what I'm worried about. So after giving him back to me, September 1st, they ended up taking him away again. They did not do a proper investigation. They took him to Houston, which apparently a CPS worker took him all the way down to Houston from where I was at, which is 5 hours. They didn't let me know until after they took him out of daycare that they took them. So they got them down there. They didn't let me see him for over 20 days. I didn't get to see him for 25 days after them taking him. And then they keep saying that I was the reason why I didn't get to see him for 25 days, which is not accurate. I told them I would come down here, and I was doing everything I could to move down here so I could be closer to them. So then I started seeing them, but they would not allow me to have someone that I knew, like, I guess, watch my visits. And so it was either him and his fiance or no one. And that's pretty much what they have said. And I don't think that's fair at all. So, and then after that, my kids have been having bruises. I mean, terrible bruises. I mean, on their arms, like they look like handprints. Um, they are trying to they're trying to say that I guess the kids were sexually abused. My two younger ones, they end up taking them to a pediatric OBGYN when I was, saying the same concerns to my, my CPS worker, and they never told me anything to do anything like that.
Do you have photos and pictures of the proof of the bruises?
Yes, I've sent all the yes, there's bruises. My middle daughter, she had they're trying to say it's chafing, but it's a chemical burn from the diapers, like from them staying in the diapers too long because they're being neglected. The younger two are being neglected because that's not Josh's kid, which is, excuse me, all right, you're gonna have to bleep that out, but that wasn't his kid. That's not his oldest kid or his kids, period. The younger two are being neglected. They have lice. There's bruises. There's scratches. There's my youngest fell out of a playhouse and wasn't told to me until 2 days later after her falling. And they tried to say that she fell and hit grass, but they never took her to the emergency room until 2 days later. But my oldest daughter told me that she fell and hit concrete. It was not grass. And I explained that to everyone, and they're saying that she is perfectly fine. So that means nothing when there could be something seriously wrong and they're not doing anything about it. Especially if she hit concrete and she's 2 years old. They also told me one day I came to pick them up from the park, and my oldest daughter was being screamed at by the fiance, and I was not okay with that. But I know that if I say anything over the top or whatever it is, like they will use that against me, and I will not be able to see my kids anymore. So then my middle daughter told me that my oldest daughter put water on my youngest child because she was told to do that because my youngest child was falling asleep in the fiance's car. That is not appropriate at all. I have told them that as well, and they are consistently will not do anything about it. Till this day, they're still showing up with bruises. They're being neglected. They are not, I've provided clothes, I've provided diapers. I don't really know what else to do at this point. I have an appointed attorney, but they haven't really done much. I mean, Dallas County is way different than Harris County, and I've done everything I could to get it transferred down here, and they won't transfer it. I'm not really sure what to do at this moment. I'm scared. I'm upset. I'm trying to do everything I can to make sure that they come home to me, which they're saying that they're working on giving them back to me, but I don't know. I just don't trust anything that CPS says. And now that I know that my kids are being abused and neglected, and I have my oldest and my middle child crying because they want to come home with me, and no one's wanting to take that into consideration either. So I don't really know what to do anymore. And it's very difficult when you're losing hope when your kids are your whole life and they're making you out to be this monster you're not. When you've done everything, you've been like a single mom to 3 kids, and you're doing everything and it's still not enough. I mean, my caseworker, she's another thing in herself. Like, she has been pro like my fur baby daddy this whole time. Like, she's done everything for him. Like, she literally gives him everything he wants. And now we're at this point where she's pretty much telling me to suck it up and communicate with him, even though I'm deathly afraid of this man because he tried to kill me multiple times, especially when I was pregnant.
I'm so confused on how he ended up with all 3 of them. Like, I mean, for the sake of the girls being together, that's good. But
and
where
that's
are
when
the other fathers?
well, the middle daughter, my middle daughter, her father signed his rights over during the CPS case. And then the other one, I have that protective order for life against him. He can't be around her.
That's right.
But now it's at the point where, I mean, he's never my old, like, I don't know. My only other option right now apparently is foster care for my other two, and I don't want that. That's not fair to me when I have someone that will take them, that is a friend of mine, that is my supervisor in my visitation, she's been approved by CPS, but they won't give them to her. They won't even do a home study on her.
Why?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's like they told me that they would and they won't. So I'm having a hard time. Like everyone just gives me like the runaround, and I'm extremely concerned because I'm not the only one seeing these bruises or these marks. Or, I mean, I just don't know. And
I
every
get
time,
it. I get it. I get where you're coming from with everything. Like when I would report marks and stuff on my kids from where they were at, or any type of negative things being done to my kids, they would flip it on me.
yeah.
Well, like one time we lived in the same area, so we were bound to run into each other, and I literally watched my son, who is like a couple years old, I don't know, 4 years old, run across the street, a busy street with no adult. And when I reported that, I was told, I got in trouble because I was being told I was stalking them.
It's just crazy how CPS can like turn it on you to make you out to be the bad guy when you're like extremely concerned about your children and their welfare.
And I didn't even do anything,
Yeah.
Let's go back to the first day that your girls were taken.
Okay.
Who reported it? Or you?
Who reported what? That they were taken away?
Like,
Or
yeah, who made a report to have them removed?
I don't know. To be honest, I have an idea of who it was, but because the way the wording was and the report, but I'm pretty sure it was my stepmom and my father that did it. Because it was an outlash. I was living with them. And I got in a fight with one of my sisters, and then I decided to leave because I was gonna go take care of my stepdad because he was dying, and they didn't like that. And by what the report said, to the point, the report said pretty much that I was letting my stepfather like sexually abuse my kids, but since he was giving me money, like it was okay, which is not appropriate at all. I mean, just by the wording of it, I'm pretty sure it was my stepmom, but no one's gonna tell me who it was and who it wasn't.
Right. Now the one that you were taking care of, your stepdad, is this the one that had been sexually abusing you?
Yeah. It was the one that, as a teenager was like, yeah. I have not had the best family support, and so I've tried to learn to forgive and hope that,
I understand.
and like I feel bad for that, but I mean, he was really good to the kids and everything like that. He helped provide when, CPS wouldn't even help him at all with anything,
When you've been raised a certain way and you don't have any other type of example or whatever, it's really hard as an adult to then figure out how to do life.
Right. I mean, and it's hard because my mom, like, she is bipolar, and it's been really hard to forgive her for everything that she put me through as a kid. I mean, it wasn't even just, her letting men sexually abuse me. I mean, I used to get beat the fuck up by men that was her boyfriends because she would have open marriages or whatever it was, but she still denies that to this day. And I don't know, like, how to even forgive that. or even allow her around my kids or, anything like that. So,
I get it.
yeah.
So, okay, you CPS got a call
Mm-hmm.
and they tell me they show up at your house, or what happens?
Well, they come to my house and they are having a conversation with me. They said I was addicted to drugs, so I was like mandated like the next few hours to go do a like hair follicle test, which I don't do drugs. I don't. They're getting, I guess, the whole drug use thing over. My third baby daddy ended up forcing me to do meth, and I almost died from it. And so I've been honest about that to people. And I guess that's where I guess they would get that from. But I had nothing in my system or anything. I mean, I've literally have taken like probably like 20 drug tests between hair follicle tests and, urine tests.
And you said
Um,
that one of the dads drugged
the,
you, or
yes, yeah. The third one drugged me with
how
meth.
did that? What happened? How did that happen?
Well, he would do meth and I was alone with him. And this was after we had the baby, whenever she was a baby. And he held me down and put a syringe in my arm and forced it in me. And I literally had to wait 2 days for it to get out of my system in order to go to the emergency room because I was literally passing out and throwing up. And these are things that I've heard that are not supposed to happen. So I don't know if it was laced with something. Like I'm still struggling with symptoms to this day with my stomach now. Um, and so I've been nothing but honest about things that have happened to me. And I think that that's, I'm sure, where they think that I do drugs, but I don't.
Right.
So after they made me do the drug test, 2 weeks later, this lady called me and said that she was coming to pick up my kids. And what they found is that I was bringing them around someone that shouldn't been, and that he was pretty much beating the crap out of them. And I'm just like, no, he was not, so I was upset. And I think a few days later, I ended up having a court date, and this lady lied on stand, saying all of these things. And the judge still was like, okay, let's open the case, because apparently she was like worried or whatever it was. And
This lady, the social worker.
she was the investigator of my case. She lied on stand, and literally my attorney like showed everything of what they were saying was happening to me, or what they were accusing me of, and everything was like showed that I didn't do any of these things, but they still opened my case against me. And then when I said that, like, I didn't understand why I was in this, when I knew the guy I was with, like, did not do anything to those kids. He was doing nothing but being loving and like a good father to them. They were like, well, you're mentally fucked up because you're not understanding exactly what you're doing. And I'm just like, I'm not understanding. Like, I mean, I would understand if he was like beating the fuck out of them, or, or I purposely let things happen, but nothing happened to my kids. Like, they were nothing but happy, genuinely happy, and healthy. And now,
Are you still with this man?
no, I'm not.
What happened?
So I ended up blocking him because CPS and the judge told me if I stayed with him that I would never be able to get to see my kids again. And then so the reason why they took the kids again in July or in September was because I had a few conversations with him after how many months went by, because my stepdad died and my mom wasn't being there for me. CPS never allowed me to have any kind of friends or support groups or anything. And I didn't know what else to do. Like, especially when you suffer from depression and all these things, like you need someone to talk to that you're comfortable with. And that's what they're using against me when he wasn't around the kids. I mean, and like, that's what it upsets me, is like they were in school when I had these conversations. It's not like I was allowing him to talk to them. I wasn't allowing him to be around them. Like, it was just me trying to be okay mentally for them. you know, and for myself, because CPS has literally like destroyed my whole life. So yeah, but when I went to court, they pretty much used everything against me, saying that, you know, I have a history of picking bad men and bringing them around my kids, and using my oldest daughter pretty much as leverage, saying that I purposely let her be sexually abused. That's still in my paperwork today, after a year of being in this case, that I purposely let her be sexually abused. Which is really hard, because like I would not let my kids go through what I did ever, you know, or call them a liar. So yeah, so they ended up saying that they were placing them, they were placed with my stepmom, and they tried to say that my middle daughter was going to need surgery on her leg, because apparently I beat the shit out of her to the point where she was limping whenever she was given to her, when I know that's nowhere close to the truth, which really upsets me. But after that, I started, you know, doing my services, and, you know, I was going as well as it could be. I was upset most of the time, and I would cry, and I wasn't even allowed to show any kind of emotion or anything like that toward those kids, because CPS said I can't, which I don't understand, because I'm a crier. Like, that's how I get my emotions out. And they also accused me of abusing my drugs, like my mental medicine. Like, one of the CPS workers accused me of that, which I didn't understand that. They ended up giving me a psychological test, I guess, evaluation, and tried to say I'm bipolar. Like, they swear to God I'm bipolar. I recently went to the doctor, and they diagnosed me with borderline personality disorder, which has, I guess, similar symptoms or similar like ways of bipolar, but it's not bipolar. And my caseworker to this day, she was like, well, maybe you should just go give him your, you know, psychological evaluation, so he can see exactly what, you know, why we felt this way, which doesn't make any sense if that's a doctor, you know, diagnosing me as something else. But yeah, I did all those things, and then yeah, so I got him back in July. My stepdad died July 22nd. And then September 1st, they ended up taking them away from me and giving them all to my first baby daddy. And let me just put it like this way. They have so much against him, like, not against him, but like, they're so for him. He has not done any kind of services. He's not taken parenting classes. He hasn't done domestic violence like I had to. His fiance has not done any kind of evaluations. She hasn't done anything. They're allowed to bring my kids around whoever they want to. And then when I tell them how I feel about it, I'm wrong for it. And I'm also dealing with the fact that my kids are being starved over there, like, to the point where I feed them on my 2 days that I get to see them, and they eat more than they should. And I really feel like something is going to happen to them. And until that happens, like, CPS is still going to be like, oh, well, he is doing a great job. They opened investigations up because of these bruises and everything. But of course, you know, apparently my caseworker up in Dallas talked to them down here, and they said that they have no worries about this man. So I don't think that how I feel about anything is going to change much of, I don't know. I'm trying to have hope, but it's really hard when you haven't done anything wrong and they're making you out to be this monster. And I don't really know what to do, like I said. So
I get it.
Yeah. I think what hurts me the most is that they forced this relationship on my daughter and my oldest. I mean, my oldest and like her father, when he's not been around for 6 years, her whole life. And the first chance he gets, he uses CPS to get them taken away from me. You know, and she begged them not to be with him, like to go be around him or go to visitation, and CPS forced it to happen. And I don't understand that either. If a child is scared, or, I mean, I thought that's what child protective services were for, is to protect kids, you know, especially if they say they don't want to do something. Like, I'm not understanding why they're forcing this to happen. you know, and I'm like scared that the kids are gonna like resent me. I mean, I know they're young, but still, like, I know it's messing them up and it's messing me up as well. So, and I feel like I don't have a fair chance right now because I mean, my attorney, like, she's doing the best I guess she can, but she's 400 miles away from here. You know, there's not much she can do to protect me, you know, and they won't transfer my case down here. So I really feel like I don't have a fair chance. I mean, and there's not anyone checking up on my kids once a week. I mean, these courtesy workers that are down here, they only check on them once a month. So yeah, I'm very concerned about my kids' welfare.
How many times have you been to court?
You know, the thing is that I've been to court probably about like 4 times, I guess you could say. You want to know, like, the bad thing about all of this is that I haven't gotten a court date since they taken them away the second time. I have not had a court date. I really feel like my voice doesn't matter. I mean, I haven't been able to go to court to like say my concerns or get help for anything. And CPS ended up filing for my first baby daddy, who they're placed with right now, to get child support. I mean, if he needed child support that bad, why didn't he file for it? Why did CPS do it for him? You know, that's what I'm not understanding.
Well, I don't know how it works in another state, but it's an automatic thing. So you're paying, right?
Yeah, I'm paying now. Yeah.
It that's just how.
I mean, he's getting it so well that I don't even have to pay the state for him. I have to pay it directly into his bank account. So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, they still haven't given me a court date. I'm supposed to be having a permanency hearing November 18th. And I'm trying to get my own place right now. So I feel like if I have my own place to show the judge and everything that they're safe, I mean, hopefully they'll be more open to things. But my caseworker, I feel like she thinks I'm lying about everything, and it's really getting old. Like, I'm going above and beyond. Like, I've done my services. Now they asked me to go to codependency meeting, which I do once a week. You know, I have 2 counselors. I'm waiting on the other one. I've been put back on my medicine. You know, I don't know what else they want from me. And for me to get like a message from my caseworker saying, oh, well, you know, you're doing such a good job. Now we need to get you back on that track so you can get your kids back. Like, what have I been doing so wrong? I mean, I just literally had to pick up my whole life and move it somewhere else because my kids got moved down here.
Right.
I mean, I just don't know what they want from me. And I mean, my caseworker and her supervisor ended up calling me, and I told them everything, but they just, I mean, I feel like it's just like blah, blah, blah coming through their ears. Like, they don't believe me or trust me on anything. And I don't understand. Like, I'm not crazy. I mean, I think that if I was saying, you know, saying things and I wasn't showing the proof, that maybe, yeah, you could be like, oh yeah, she's crazy. But I have more than enough proof for it. And on top of that, I got an email last night from my attorney, from my caseworker, saying that there was light bruising, but that's from her playing. But the thing is that every time I see those kids, my middle child and my youngest child, they both have bruises on the exact same parts of their arm. How can you sit here and say that it's from playing? I understand when you fall and stuff, but not on that part of your arm. Like, when it looks like someone has grabbed you multiple times.
Where is it? Up here?
Yeah. No, it's right underneath there. Like, right down, like by your elbow. Yeah. Like right there. Yeah. Yeah. Right there, and then right underneath your elbow. Like, that's where all the bruises are. And they look like
your arm.
Oh, okay. So it's like right here, like that they're grabbing. I guess you say it like right there. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. I gotta set it up real quick.
Can't point.
Okay. So it's like this. Like, that's what they look like. They're literally like, she has bruises, like fingers, like right here and right here. And then she had bruises right here, like on this part of her arm.
My daughter had 4 fingerprint bruise marks like this.
Yeah.
Being grabbed.
Yeah. And like, I don't get it. I mean, it would be different if, I guess maybe if it was looked like from falling or playing, but also the last time I saw my middle child, she had a big scrape right here, like on her eyebrow. And I asked her what happened, and she said that the fiance's son like ran her into a table, and she literally, I, it's like I can't tell anyone these things because like they don't believe me. So, I mean, I can document everything, but until someone believes me, like how am I supposed to? I mean, I feel like I'm a kid again where nobody believes me, and now I'm having to like do deja vu with my own kids, and that's not fair at all, so.
And how old is the son?
He's 4, but that's a whole other story. I just don't know. My oldest child as well, like every time I see her, like on Saturdays, because I get her for 4 hours, like we'll say one thing and then she literally shuts down. She doesn't want to talk to me about anything. Like she just cries, and she says that she's always getting in trouble, and because the other kids like blame stuff on her, and then she's the one getting in trouble all the time. And to the point where she has to put her nose in the corner and put her hand behind her back. And I'm just like, the nose on the wall and then put her hand behind her back. Like they're not old enough for these kind of punishments, and I've told them that as well. I've told CPS everything, and it doesn't make a difference. It really don't, because they are so good at lying over there. It's not even funny. Like they're talking their way out of everything that I'm saying is concerning. So I don't really know, like I said, but they still haven't given me a court date, and that makes me so upset because like I should be able to voice my opinion or voice what I need to say or what's going on, and they're not even giving me that.
And you have a court-appointed attorney?
Yeah, I do.
Is it a male or female?
I'm a female.
What is she saying?
She's not really saying much. She said my only option is to put the 2 younger kids in foster care if I feel like they're being neglected, which I don't want to split my kids up because they won't take my oldest from the father because apparently, that's blood to him. So, that's not fair at all for me to have to make a decision like that. But at the same time, like I'm trying to get my own place. I mean, maybe that will show them that they can be placed with me. I don't know. But it's hard to have court 400 miles away from here when no one's down here to look at what's happening or see everything that's going on, and they're getting away with everything they possibly can because my caseworker believes everything that comes out of their mouth, even though when they've lied to me multiple times. I mean, and the kids tell me the truth. They don't tell me the truth, and they're scared to death. I mean, I don't even think that my oldest told the CPS lady that came in and did the investigation the truth because she's scared. I mean, to the point where one time my oldest went in for a visitation in the CPS office, and she told her that she only wanted to be there for an hour. She didn't want to be there for 2 hours, and she wanted to leave. And literally she told her no, and that made her be very distant to CPS, where she didn't want to talk to them because she feels like they weren't listening to her and that, they didn't want the best for her. And it's hard when kids are actually feeling that same way when I'm doing everything I can to make them safe because they were never in harm's way in my care.
Is the dad trying to adopt them, and have full custody?
Well, this is the thing. They end up getting a GoFundMe account because apparently they couldn't afford their bills, which I don't know why they would even give them my kids if they can't afford their bills, first of all. So she ended up saying that they were like, the fiance was on there talking crap about me on this GoFundMe account and saying about how I have 3 baby daddies and I can't take care of my kids and whatever else not, and saying that they were going to adopt the kids, or they were trying to adopt the kids, but that's not going to happen. Like, it's not. They have done nothing but let me know that they are trying to give them back to me. It's just where I want them placed until that happens, which I'm apparently supposed to have a jury trial in January, and I'm scared out of my mind because they've done nothing but lie on me. You know, when I've done nothing but show that I'm doing everything I can to get my kids back. I just feel like everything up there has been towards CPS and everything else. Like, I don't know. I'm scared. So,
Wait, how close are you to your girls?
probably like 45 minutes.
You said that do you have visits with them all together or no?
Yeah, I have Wednesday for 2 hours and Saturday for 4 hours.
And the friend supervises it?
Yeah, yeah. And every time I try to ask for help or thinking that I'm getting somewhere, I don't. Like, I end up right back in the same place.
Right, that's what it sounds like.
I mean, I even tried to go to like a news station like up there because that's what I had. I had a boss that was a lawyer, a family lawyer, and she told me that I could do that. And they won't even get back to me. So I don't know what else I can do. Because I can't afford an attorney. And I have an attorney down here in Houston that I've known, but my case is not down here. It's up there and they won't transfer it. So
And you completed everything on the case plan?
yeah.
What were the things on there?
They had I had to do a 12-week parenting class, a 10-week domestic violence class, counseling, like ongoing counseling, and then drug tests, like I guess once a month or whenever they tell me to do it.
Was it random?
Yeah, which I don't care because I don't drink or nor do I, do drugs. So,
What's your living situation like?
well, I'm living with my friend right now, the one that is the one that pretty much watches my visits. So but I'm trying to get my own place right now. Like I'm close. Like I should be moving in the next week or two. So.
And it's big enough for you?
Yeah, and the kids. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have to do a psych evaluation at all?
Yeah, I had to do 2 evaluations. That's where they tried to tell me that I was bipolar. So, I had 2 evaluations, but I don't know. Like the first one, the one that has to do about drugs and stuff, like I literally like it didn't even really say much because I didn't do drugs and I haven't been to jail and I haven't done this and I haven't done that. So most of it was even like canceled out. But the other one, they said that they diagnosed me with bipolar and borderline personality.
Do you have family therapy with the girls?
I don't. No. I just have therapy and I went to a place that helps you with like mental health costs and I got put on medicine and they're about to like give me a trauma therapist or whatever that is and so I can get help with evaluating my trauma issues.
Are the girls in therapy?
Huh? No, my oldest is supposed to be in therapy, but she hasn't been since they got moved down here. Nor have they tried to put her back into therapy. Yeah, she's supposed to be in therapy, but they haven't put her back in there. Which is very concerning to me because now she has no one to talk to. And that's going to make her upset and depressed or whatever. I mean, I don't know what she's going to do with herself.
How are they doing in school?
My oldest is doing good in school, but I think honestly it's a getaway, to be honest. Like, I feel like that's her happy place, I guess, The other 2 are not in daycare. So they're being watched by God knows who because no one wants to tell me who's watching my kids. And nor do I even have a say in it because nobody wants to communicate with me about who's watching them. I got told the other day that by my oldest that I guess the fiance's mom was watching them, but the fiance's mom didn't even make them like lunch. Apparently the fiance's daughter made them a sandwich. Like that's not appropriate either. Like why aren't my kids being fed properly?
Say that again.
So the fiance's mother was watching them, and I guess that the fiance's daughter, she's 6, and apparently she stayed home that day, and she was the one that fed my 2 youngest kids with the sandwich. Apparently that's what happened.
How many kids does the fiance have?
2. So there's 5 kids in the house.
And how many adults? Just the 2, or is the mom?
2. No, there's 2. But they're allowing anyone to watch my kids and take my oldest to school. And nobody sees a problem with that either. Like, I'm not allowed to have anyone around them, but they're allowed to have whoever they want. Because they trust him. They don't trust me.
You know, I had the foster parent of my kids, where they were, videotaped them breaking the law. I'll show you. And when I sent this to the social workers, she told me she literally refuses to open it because she didn't want to have to do paperwork.
Wow. It just blows my mind. Like, wow.
That is 3 children in a vehicle on the freeway going at least 70 miles an hour.
Not in seatbelts.
No car seats either.
Yeah.
The oldest child in that vehicle is 6 years old. The other 2 are 4.
Wow. I mean, and like generally there's like kids that are being abused and, neglected, and they're taking away kids that shouldn't be taken away because they're trying to either prove a point,
Right.
or they're so far in that they can't make themselves look bad.
Right.
And that's honestly what I feel like is what's happening with my case right now. But for you not to do a proper investigation to properly take my kids away the next day, I mean, it was less. They apparently got these, phone call records or whatever Saturday afternoon, and they took my kids Monday morning or Monday afternoon. So tell me how less than 24 hours that that you can permanently get my kids taken away. Like, why isn't there a proper investigation? Why,
So when they came, tell me again what the allegation was.
Which one? The beginning? The first time or second time?
First time.
Okay, the first time, I was in a relationship with someone I shouldn't have been, which he was 5 hours from me. Okay, so I don't know how the kids would even be around him, first of all. My second allegation was I was mentally unstable, and my third one was I was addicted to drugs.
That's right.
And they also tried to put on the guy that I was with that he sexually abused my oldest daughter, but they ruled that one out. But they said I had neglectful supervision, and that's why they took my kids away.
And the day of the allegations being made, is that the same day that the girls were taken?
No, they were taken 2 weeks later.
So do you feel they actually did an investigation or no?
No. This lady lied. Apparently I don't know. Apparently what I was told, she went and talked to my stepmom and my father, which how would she talk to these people if she didn't, if they were 400 miles away from me? So how would they know anything, if that makes sense? But how do they go straight to talking to them and then they end up taking my kids like a week and a half later?
And was there a warrant when they took them?
Yeah, they had an emergency order from from the courthouse, which they did that the second time as well, saying that the kids were unsafe.
Wow, I'm shocked that they had a warrant.
Yeah, I don't even think it was a warrant. I just think it was a emergency order to be the kids be
Right.
removed. Yeah, so I guess it kind of has a warrant, but I don't know. But they took them the second time at daycare. At least they gave me a heads up the first time, I guess you could say. But
Yeah.
I just don't understand how they say that my kids are in danger. Like, I don't get it. But the more I say I don't get it, the more that they think that I'm mentally fucked up and I don't understand my wrongs, I guess.
I don't like that.
Neither do I. But I think that it's more like of a mental health issue, like, and I shouldn't be used. That shouldn't be used against me because I know I'm not the only one that has mental health problems. And I do everything I can to cater to that as I'm trying to get better.
Well, yeah, and just like they use my health issues against me. It's complete. I don't want to say biased because I don't think that's it.
Well, I feel like they are biased in my case, to be honest. Because I feel like I haven't even had a fair say or a fair amount of people on my side as well as the other side of going against me. It's kind of like me, myself, and I, and everyone else is against me. And that's not how it should be at all.
No.
Because every time I've gone to court, my caseworker has done nothing but like find a way to slander me or find a way to find something I've done wrong.
Yeah, I remember going to court and being handed that stack of papers of what I was going to be told in the courtroom and just reading all of this horrific things about me. Mm-hmm. And it was like, the person who put this together, like, do you actually believe yourself? Do you believe these lies that you're saying about me? Like, it was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And sad.
Yeah.
I had another question for you. When they were first taken, where did they go?
They went with my stepmother and my father.
Which is who you think made the...
Yes. They won't tell me, but yes. I'm like 99.9% sure. Just because of the wording of what the report was. And my dad also said that they called, but they're saying that they didn't call. That apparently the investigator just talked to them, which I don't believe that crap either, but it just sucks when your own family's doing it to you or people that you feel like you can trust or like you're comfortable, Like no matter how mad you are, someone, you don't call CPS on them because once they get a part of CPS, like they can't get out. And if they do, it's like forever.
Do you know my story?
No.
It was my own mom who not only lied, my mom and dad, not only lied about me with all the allegations, but my mom is the one who took my kids and then had them for a year and a half.
Wow.
And then tried to adopt them out from underneath me. And made my kids call her mom.
Oh, I know that too.
And proceeded to tell my son that he not only came from her, but breastfed off of her.
Wow. Yeah, that's another thing I'm struggling with right now because my middle child told me that they're calling the guy that they're placed with right now dad. And I told them that that's not their dad because I don't want them to be confused. Like my oldest daughter, if she wants to call him dad, that's cool, whatever. But my younger two, I was like, that's not your dad. Or your mom. And I mean, my oldest daughter has called, the fiance mom multiple times. I mean, the other ones have called the dad and the mom multiple times because they're forcing them to do that.
Right.
And I've told CPS that too, and they're like, well, we can't do anything about that if they're in a house where they feel like they're comfortable enough to call them mom and dad. And I was like, that's not right though. Like, you're going to confuse these kids and then they're not going to know what is what, and
Well, and what's hard in your poor daughter's situation is that there's 2 other kids there calling them
yeah,
mom and dad.
yeah, yeah.
So there's confusion.
Also, after the kids were taken from me, well, after I went to court, I got told, well, before I went to court, I got told that my father and stepmom were trying to take my rights away from me, but they ended up bailing out like a day before my court hearing. But they were trying to say that they never try to do that, which I don't believe that either. Like, why would my attorney tell me that if that wasn't accurate?
Say it again, that they're what?
No, they were trying to take my rights away from me.
Who's
And
doing
so,
that?
my stepmom and my father in the beginning of my case, they were trying to take my rights from me. They're trying to say that they were just trying to get guardianship over them, but I was like, no, I don't think that my attorney would lie to me about something like that, you know? So, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. And when I tell caseworkers down here what's going on, like, they're in complete, like, oh my God, what the fuck? Because like they're not understanding. Which every time I tell my story, they're just like, I don't understand. And I'm at the same place. I don't fucking get it either. I mean, I don't understand. Like, you would think that if they thought I was so bad, they would have way more proof to pull against me. You know? I don't understand.
So what's next for you?
Just trying to get a place and go to court. I'm trying to get my place before I go to court so I have something else to show. I'm just trying to get my kids back, and I'm I'm just struggling right now because I wish I had enough money to go and like get another attorney, like someone that I know is for sure not with the government or not with my courthouse. Like, I don't know. I have so many trust issues that I feel like, and I'm paranoid that everyone is working with CPS and they're not generally for my case. So I'm having a really hard time with that, but I can't afford an attorney. Like, they're super expensive and I have no one that's willing to help me up in Dallas area. So I have to deal with what I have.
I don't know if you know that what I'm building.
Mm-hmm.
I'm creating a attorney Rolodex, and it'll be a website basically for attorneys to offer services in every county in each state. And it's going to be really neat because it's going to really help parents like us where we didn't have the funds and where you need an attorney. You can't. I'm sorry of the hiccups. Hold
Okay.
on 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. So, I think it's almost impossible to fight a CPS case without an attorney.
Right.
And I say real attorney because I don't think it's very possible to fight with an attorney that is court appointed. Now, yeah, if you want to try before, because I don't know how long it's going to finish taking to get all this stuff built up.
Mm-hmm.
My attorney offers a service where he coaches the court appointed attorney in saving your case.
Okay.
So if you want to see, I don't think that one is nearly like the cost, as hiring
Right.
him. So If you want to call on the radio show this Saturday.
Okay.
Are you aware that we have a radio show?
I've kind of seen a little bit about it, but I don't know everything about it.
Okay. Well, on Saturday nights from 7 to 9, um, Pacific Standard Time. I'm like, whatever this time is.
Yeah.
We go on air and you just get a couple minutes to kind of tell your story in a nutshell and then ask, okay, well, how do I do this or how do I do that or what should my next step be, period. Or how do I get them all three placed with this friend?
Yeah.
He answers all those questions and like assists you. So then at least you can get a couple questions answered,
Okay.
right away. Because like I said, I'm not an attorney or anything.
Yeah.
But if you let me know that you're going to be calling, then I can make sure we answer and you can ask.
Okay. Do you want me to just message you on Facebook? Or?
Yeah, message us right now, and my assistant, or when we're done, and my assistant will give you the number, and then let me give you it's a work number, but it's my cell number for work.
Okay.
626
594
5526.
Okay.
So just message me and on Saturday and let me know.
Okay, I will definitely.
Okay.
Okay.
I look forward to talking to you and hopefully getting you some answers or direction,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Of course. Keep in touch so we can know what's going on.
Okay.
And how things go.
Okay. I will.
All right. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.